Hey guys, Armando here again. Been doing some painting and chroming, and just to catch you guys up on what I've been doing, I did some test painting of different sprues, and I was intending to do 3 different tests. One with a couple of hours of the black gloss and then chroming, another one with 24 hours of the black gloss and then chroming, and then another one with a technique using several different primers before. But as it turns out, and as you will see, the first technique, the results were so good that I simply settled on that, and I'm not going to do the other 2. I think this will work just fine. As you'll see, the results are actually almost spectacular. I never expected this thing to look so good. I'll show you in a few minutes, but first I'll take you through the process. Be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back and I've done some more research. This is a good website for questions about the Alclad paints, and clearly the chrome highly polished aluminum ones, it's not advisable to paint over them, so that means that I have to assemble this thing, fix the seams, polish it, sand it I mean, and get it all set to go before I chrome it. And I can't insert the fiber optics until the end. That's got to be the last step because I don't want to chrome over them when they're in there. So the other problem that I have is how to glue the fiber optics in place once I insert them if I complete the skull. I've already glued the 2 halves, but not the front face yet. And just as an aside to those that were suggesting that this thing be masked on the inside and then lit up with an LED, that's just not feasible. If you notice, there's a big gap between the teeth there. There was no way to cover, and the light would have leaked through there, so that just isn't any way to light it up. It has to be LEDs or nothing. I mean fiber optics or nothing. So my next step now is figuring out how I'm going to glue that fiber optic in place. Once everything is put together, I may have to add a dab of glue at the end of the bloomed fiber optic, and as I insert it so it sticks in place. That might be my best option, because I clearly can't glue it in place and then put the rest of the skull together and then chrome it. So inserting the fiber optics has to be the last step. There's a couple of seams I'm going to have to work on, and I dread that, of course, because I'm terrible at seam work, but we'll see. There's one in the jaw there that I really need to get out, and I'd like to work on the one up here, try and smooth it out as much as possible. I don't care so much about the one that shows up on the temples here, because that's part of the structure of the Terminator, and can't get this thing together with one hand. I'm definitely going to have to get a tripod here. Anyway, I don't think that one's such a big deal, but the one on top and the side one I should probably get rid of, or at least try. The other thing I want to do, of course, is mask the teeth off, so I can paint them with a tooth color of some kind. And since I can't chrome the whole thing over, that's going to be some precision work there. So some interesting work to do coming up here. See you soon. Okay, I think I've settled on the way I'm going to do this. Once I've completed the skull, worked on the seams, polished it, sanded it, and then painted it, and then of course the teeth are last, I will insert the fiber optic through the eye and pull it through.
and then at the last second I'll dab some model glue on there. Not CA. CA is not good for fiber optic, not unless you use it with a zip kicker, and I'm not going to do that because I can't do it. It'll be too quick. I'll dab just a little bit of the testers right there and pull this thing tight all the way, pulling on it from the bottom so it sits the way it's supposed to. Because if you don't, then the fiber optic tip's not going to be flush with the eye. It'll be pointing up, and you don't want that. You want it to be flush and flat. And just as a test, pretty cool, huh? All right. Okay, I believe I have all my seams filled in, and I'm actually quite pleased with the way these came out. Certainly a lot better than my seam work in the NX01, which was terrible. Let's see, that front jaw, pretty good. Maybe a little bit more sanding. Try not to get the putty in the details, but it's so difficult. But it feels really smooth when I pass my fingers over it, so that tells me I've sanded it down pretty good. But I'm no expert. Anyway, now comes the masking of the teeth. Okay. Teeth masked off. Hopefully good enough. So we shall see. Okay, I got a coat of the gloss black on it. Nice and shiny. Waiting for it to dry, and then I'll hit it with a chrome. Okay, this is after the first coat of the chrome, and I have to say, what you're seeing there is a reflection of my video camera on the surface. This stuff is amazing. Look at that. I haven't even buffed it or given it any other coats. I'm going to give it another coat, but is that me? Wow. Big shout out to Chris Whitford for pointing me in the direction of these paints. These things are amazing. Okay. Alright, here he is all chromed up and with his eyes lit up. I'm about to lose the fiber optics. Oh, he looks really cool. Okay, and here's the Terminator, all chromed up with the fiber optic glued in place and his teeth painted. Next up will be the shoulders. As per the instructions, I will work on those, file them, glue them together, work on any seams that are too obvious, and obviously thread the fiber optic through the center before I glue them together, and go from there. It'll be interesting to see how I will attach the head. It's got a swiveling pylon on it, and I'm assuming that once you get the position you want, you have to glue it in place. Otherwise, there's always a risk that the head will fall off, but we'll find out. See you soon on my next update.